Morning students, we are studying paper first cost accounting, and this we are studying chapter material control samagri niyantran, and in this we are going to discuss today inventory control. Inventory, what is inventory? Opening stock, closing stock, and your purchases throughout the year is your inventory, or you can say stock of material, raw material which you purchase for the purpose of production in manufacturing units is your inventory. Now, why it is necessary to have control over inventory? Simple line which I said earlier also, just to avoid wastage and have a good record of incoming and outgoing of stock. Now, inventory control means to have a keen way, a known way, deep way to control it, just to avoid wastage and keeping a proper record of inventory. In this, today we will discuss how we control inventory by different methods, out of which your first method is here is on screen, first in first out method. In short, it is called FIFO method. So in this method, inventory is stored in stock, and how stores and how stores were maintained or controlled in what way, which we had already discussed in previous video, like ABC analysis, FSND, VED, just in time JIT approach, and so on. So today we are discussing first in first out method, which is in short called FIFO method generally. So here are some points throwing some light on this method. First is stock which comes first in store should be issued first. That means the stock which we are receiving, stock of what? Stock of raw material which we are receiving and keeping it stored in warehouses or anywhere else, should be issued first to the manufacturing units for production. दैट मीन्स जो सामग्री पहले आपके पास आ रही है वो पहले ही इश्यू होगी. Second point is stores should be issued at their respective prices. That means whenever stock is issued from the store, it should be delivered or issued at the same price in which it was purchased. For example, 100 units were purchased at 10 rupees. Now when at the time of issue, this 10 rupees is price of its issue. We are issuing where? To production department. Who is issuing? Store department. And this third point, this method allows to keep a good record of stock at current value and ensure issues in purchase order. That means why first in first out method is used. This is used because it allows storekeeper to make a record and keep entry in the way of arriving stock, like when they come first, it should be entered in books, and when they are issuing, they should be the same should be recorded at the time of issue. It allows or you can say it ensures issue in purchase order. Means purchase order means as and when they were purchased, now they are issuing first. Okay, now I'm going to explain this first in first out method through an example. Here is your question. The particulars of receipt and issue of an item of stores for month of August 2013 are as follows. Now you are seeing, I am reading here opening balance. That means 500 tons at the rate rupees 10 per ton. Opening balance is what? Closing balance of last year. Last year means sorry, last year or last month or last trimester, you can say. So we have 500 tons of stock at the rate rupees 10 per ton of previous closing balance. Now date, you have to consider date every point, because you will issue date wise. The first order you received, the first it should be issued. So on 5 you issue 300 tons. Now see, here no rate is given. While receiving or while purchasing, you will be given in question with rate, amount, or per ton or whatever it is, but while issuing you will not give these rates, because you have to calculate it. And how will you calculate? You don't have to calculate actually, you have to assume it that these 300 tons are issued from those materials which were received earlier. Okay, now it is 9th. We are receiving. Receipt means we are receiving what? Stock material. Store department is receiving raw material because of its purchase, and we have purchased 600 tons at 11 per ton. Now on 14 we are issuing 250 tons. Now again we don't have any price here. What you have to do, you have to calculate from which units these 250 tons were to be issued. On 20th again we are receiving 100 tons at the rate 12 per ton, and on 27 we are issuing 400 tons. Okay, now further question is, material is issued on the basis of first in first out method. Prepare store ledger on the basis of above particulars. सामग्री का प्रथम निर्गमन प्रथम आगमन, फीफो को हिंदी में बोला जाएगा प्रथम आगमन प्रथम निर्गमन। प्रथम निर्गमन विधि के अनुसार किया जाना है। उपयुक्त विवरण के आधार पर स्टोर लेजर खाता बनाइए। Now you should first read this question and also take screenshot, or you can write in your notebook this question, and after listening to this video you should try to solve this question on your own. See, here is your solution. You have to make a format like this. Heading will always be stored ledger in this chapter. Further also we will study different methods of inventory control. In that we are always maintaining stores ledger. You have to mention in bracket which method you are using, which is FIFO method. Okay, now this is your format. How to make format easily? First take a page of your register. First draw out line of date. Okay, then the remaining portion, after separating date column, the remaining portion of your page, your register is, you should divide it into three column, three big columns like this. Okay, and now each column will have separate quantity, rate and amount. Each first heading is your receipt, second heading is your issue, and last is your balance. Each column, big column, have three sub columns of quantity, rate and amount, quantity, rate and amount, quantity, and in balance you have quantity and amount and rate for further issue. That means the balance amount will be issued at what rate, you have to show it here. Okay, now let's start with the question. You have to make this format and start with date wise. Do not disturb the order of their receipt and payments and balances. You have to also maintain balance on every date. How? I will make you first read this. On first you have opening balance of 500 tons, so write here first. On date 1st August, it is opening balance. How much quantity? 500. Receipt at 10 rupees. Total amount is 5000. Quantity, rate and amount. Quantity, rate and amount. Okay, and here you can see that GR is GRMR. It is not necessary to make this column, but if you like to make this column, it's okay. But without this column also you can start with this solution. 500, 10 and 5000. Quantity is 500 tons, rate is 10 rupees per ton, and amount is 5000 per ton. Okay, now you have to maintain balance at every date, on every date. Okay, now on 1st of August we have only opening balance of 500, amount is 5000. Okay, now if we are issuing units from this balance, what will be rate for issue? 10 rupees, because we have only one type of quantity in our stock and it is of 10 rupees per ton. So if you are issuing material after this date, then it should be from this stock of 10 rupees. Okay, now move towards next date. Next date is of issue 300 tons. Okay, now you got it. We are issuing 300 units on 5. This is 5th August your date, and we are issuing. Okay, now you have, okay, so you can see that we are issuing these 500 units, 300 units, and we are going to write in this issue column. Okay, now we have three separations actually. One is of receipt. So while you are receiving stock or material, you have to write it down on this receipt side, and if you are issuing, so you have to keep blank receipt side and you will be entering that same at issue column. Balance will be maintained at the end, at the last of after every date. Okay, so while issuing these 300 units, you will write 300 units over here, and you are keeping blank this date. on receipt side. Okay, now from where we are issuing these 300 units? Out of the opening stock we had with our on date 1st. Now what is its rate? 10 rupees. So we are issuing these 300 units at the rate rupees 10, or your total amount is 3000. Now we are maintaining balance at the end of the date is on 5th. It is, we had 500 earlier and we had issued 300 out of this, so remaining is 200. 10 rupees इसका amount है and 2000 is your total balance. Okay, so on 5th of August you have remaining 200 units at the rate rupees 10 per unit and amount is 2000. Like this you have to maintain each day transaction. Now moving further, we have 9th and we are receiving 600 tons at 11 rupees per ton. So on 9th you will write like this, you are receiving, so you have to show it in receipt side. This is 9th. See quantity, how much we are receiving? 600 units at what rate? 11. To 600 into 11 is 6600. Issue side will be kept blank because we are not issuing on this date, we are only receiving. So now our stock has enhanced. We have 200 units of previous balance, yani till date 5 we have 200 balance of 2000, and on 9th we have more 6600, so our total is 8600. Okay, now you have to add up, you have to add current balance plus previous balances to make a total of quantity of stock. Okay, so again I am telling you that earlier we had on 5th we had 200 units and now we had received 600 units. So total of our on today's date is 800 units. See here it is written, and its amount, total amount is 2000 of earlier and plus 6600 of today's value. Okay, now moving further, on 14 we are issuing, see here on 14 we are issuing 250 tons. Now again you don't have any date amount here, you have to calculate it from which stock you are on, stock of which date you are issuing it, because each stock has different value with them. So on 14, see here it's 14, you are issuing 200 units, so we will issue from that stock which was purchased earlier. Means you do not have to break their order of issuing. You are here is your 200 units and you are going to issue it from your previous balances. In this previous balance you have 200 first. Okay, so you will take out stock from this side and this stock is of 10 rupees, so you will write here 10 rupees. So 200 into 10, sorry, you are issuing 250, so we have 200 of stock and further 50 you will take out from this lower which you were purchased on 9th. Okay, so you take out 50 units from this stock and amount of this stock was 11 rupees. Okay, so this 50 units is of 11 rupees, total is 2550. I hope you understand. I let you understand once again. आप क्या करेंगे, जो ये 14 को 250 का स्टॉक इशू हुआ है तो उस 250 के स्टॉक को आप बैलेंस में से चेक करेंगे कि आपके पास कौन कौन सी स्टॉक रखा हुआ है. बैलेंस में जो आपको स्टॉक मेंटेन करना है वो आपको अलग अलग रेट का अलग अलग शो करना है, और जो पहले आया है वो पहले ही लिखा जाएगा, जो बाद में आया है वो बाद में लिखा जाएगा. तो देखिए यहाँ पर मैं आपको फिर से बताती हूँ, यहाँ पे 200 पहले लिखे हुए हैं क्योंकि ये पहले के बच्चे में और 200 बाद में आए हैं. यहाँ पर आपके पास 800 का ये टोटल हो गया. तो ये देखिए इस तरीके से लिखा है आपके पास यहाँ पे 200 रुपये तो 10 रुपये, 200 यूनिट्स तो 10 रुपये के हिसाब की पहले के रखी हुई थी आपके पास, और बाद में 600 यूनिट्स 11 के हिसाब से आपके पास और आ गई. ठीक है, तो अब इसमें से आपको 250 इशू करनी है. 250 में से 200 तो आपने ये वाले ले लिए है ना 10 रुपीज़ के हिसाब से, बचे कितने 50 और इशू करने हैं. तो आप किस में से निकालेंगे 600 वाले में से, तो 50 रुपये 50 यूनिट्स 11 रुपये के हिसाब से. ये देखिए तो आपने टोटल 2550 इशू कर दिया. नाउ यू हैव टू मेंटेन बैलेंस एट दिस डेट. अब आपका बैलेंस कितना है, देखिए ये 200 रुपये तो ख़त्म हो गए क्योंकि 200 यूनिट्स तो ख़त्म हो गई क्योंकि हमने इशू कर दी. अब इस 600 में से भी 50 चलेगी तो आपके पास 550 बची 11 रुपये के हिसाब से. ये देखिए 6050 आपका अमाउंट बचा. नाउ वी आर मूविंग टू नेक्स्ट डेट. ऑन 20 we are receiving 100 tons at rate rupees 12 per ton. Now again we have stock of two different rates, one is of 11 and one is of 12. Now 10 stock of 10 rupees वाला ख़त्म हो चुका है. So we have to mention this on receipt side. Day 20, here it is 100 we are receiving quantity 100, rate is 12, total is 1200. Okay, now issue side will be kept blank because we don't have any issues on this date, and now we have to maintain balance. Balance आप ऐसे maintain करेंगे that previous balance is of 550 at the rate rupees 11. Now you have extra 100, so you will mention you 550 plus 100 is 650 and amount total is 6050 plus 1200. See आपको यहाँ पे दिख रहा होगा 7250 is your amount. Now you have to classify these amount also from rate of further issues. You have to show separately these stocks at their respective prices. 550 units is of 11, ओके, एंड 100 यूनिट्स इज ऑफ 12. मैं आप ये कॉलम हटाती हूँ तो आपको दिखेगा यहाँ पे नीचे 100 यूनिट्स जो है आपके पास 12 की है. नेक्स्ट इज 27. ऑन 27 you are doing what? You are issuing 400 ton. Now you have to issue out of the stock. See here is 27 and you are issuing, this is your issue column. This column is to be left blank because we don't have any receipts on 27. We are issuing, how much we are issuing? We are issuing 400 units. Now you have to decide, not you don't have to decide actually, you have to judge from which stock you are taking it out. Now we have I want to show, we have here 550 units plus 100 units of 12 rupees. So we have to take only 400 units out of this 550 stock. 550 जो पहले के 11 रुपये के हिसाब से बचे थे उसमें से हम we will take out 400 units and their price is 11 rupees, so 4400 amount will be issued. Now balance is 550 में से आपका 400 चला गया तो you have only 150. I hope you are seeing in the right of your screen. जस्ट एकदम लास्ट में आपको दिख रहा होगा 150 यूनिट्स आपकी बची हैं 11 के हिसाब से, एंड दीज 100 यूनिट्स विच वर परचेज्ड ऑन 20th are not used and they are written as it is. 100 by 12 is equals to 12, and out of 550 we have issued 400 units. Now balance is 150 units. So like this you have to make FIFO account, FIFO method. You have to maintain store ledger using FIFO method. In our next video we are going to discuss next method of inventory control.